high school football time, Horse, and we had some absolutely great games this week.
Pow!
Pow! Did you say pow again?
I did. That's because there were some great games, a lot of rivalry games this week, and some high-scoring games, some defensive struggles. We had a little bit of everything.
Games came down to the wire. Passion was a part of it. This was an absolutely fantastic week, and I think everyone's going to enjoy looking at these games and these great highlights.
Yep, they were down to the wire and somewhere over in the first quarter.
And we had some great guests for this episode, Horse. Christian Zamora from Lodi High School, running back, is joining us to talk about Lodi High and what he's doing on the field and what his teammates are doing.
Yeah, first team All-League running back last year. Fantastic player, even better person. I've known him since he was 12 years old. So is Anthony here. We coached him. He's here. He's going to tell us all about why Lodi has started out 3-0 and how they can keep it going.
And we have a personal friend, a local correspondent for us, Coach Nico Antolin, who went to both the Tokay-Linden game and watched the Lodi Tracy game, and he's going to give us insight onto both, and we have a great breakdown of that as well.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. All right, Horse, here we go. We've got Manteca versus Sierra. This is a rivalry game. These teams get amped for this one.
Yeah, this is a big game every year, filled with explosive athletes and good football. I know Sierra wants this one real bad. Unfortunately, they would not get it as Manteca would pull away from them 50-21. Manteca, as always, led by their ground game. Quarterback Chris Charles had a 70-yard touchdown run. Khalid Robinson had 8 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. Blake Nicholson had 6 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. Lyon Cologne had 7 carries, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a punt return touchdown. And then Central Catholic transfer Trey Moreland added a kick return touchdown for the Buffaloes.
Wow, that's a lot of scoring. That's a lot of big plays. You kind of expect it from Khalid Robinson and Lyon Cologne, but everyone else adding in as well. Nicholson, getting involved. That's what you need, is a real balanced attack to go against a good team like Sierra.
And good news for everyone around here, Lyon Cologne is a junior.
Woo! Good luck with that one.
Sierra was not without good plays, though. The game was a little better than the score. Manteca kind of pulled away at the end.
Right.
Sierra, as always, Kamoni Stanley had 100 yards and a touchdown. Quarterback Ryan Borgeson continues to impress, going 8 of 14 for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then here's a name we have not mentioned. Christian Threadgill had 2 catches for 48 yards for 2 touchdowns. So it looks like Sierra has another scoring threat that we haven't mentioned.
That's good for them. To finish off the season, they're going to have a potent offense. And this is just a tough game, and you never know how these rivalry games are going to go. But both teams are out there just giving it everything they got. Kamoni Stanley is one heck of a player, and I think he's someone we have to watch the rest of the year and see how he does. But both of these teams are loaded with talent. It was a great game. And, this time the Buffaloes came out, but I guarantee you Sierra will be looking to get them back next year.
Yeah, definitely. It's not often a rivalry game features two teams that have both been to state championships in the last decade.
Yeah, and these guys both know how to get it done in the playoffs, like you said, and in championships. These two programs are going nowhere. Kimball versus Patterson was an absolute doozy, Horse. Kimball comes back to win 62-56 and beat a very good Patterson football team.
Yeah, Patterson, for those of you who don't know, is a Division IV powerhouse around here. So this is a big-time win for Kimball. Kimball continues to be one of the most exciting teams around here every week, led by one of the most exciting players around here.
100%.
In quarterback Nicholas Coronado. He had 491 yards and 7 passing touchdowns. Do not adjust your screen. I said 7. He also got tacked on 87 yards rushing and a touchdown. That is a big-time game from a big-time player.
Yeah, that right there screams out that he is one of the top players in the area. If you're not already taking notice of him, take notice right now. Get eyes on this guy. Share the video. Make sure that people get to see this guy because he is out there turning heads, and he needs to get recognition.
By the way, for the other teams around here, he's a junior.
Woo!
We are actually looking forward, hopefully going to have Nicholas on this show coming up soon. Another explosive player they have is running back Alonzo Jackson, who had 88 rushing yards and a touchdown, and he also had 6 catches for over 90 yards. And then leading their receivers was Mason Rivera. He had 6 catches, 141 yards, 3 touchdowns. Big time game from him as well. And rounding out the scoring is Travis Marrero, Eric Gordon Jr., a recent follow of the Cutback on Twitter.
True.
Willie Clifton and Jerome Nance all tacked on receiving touchdowns. It's crazy. There were so many passing touchdowns in this game that it's like when a team lists the last 4 guys off the bench that scored 2 points in a basketball game.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is we always wondered after week 1 if Kimball's offense was really this good. And you know what they've proven? It really is this good. They are a powerhouse on the offensive side of the ball, and they did just enough to defeat Patterson. But wow, I can't wait to see what they do next. So many points, way to spread the ball around. Big time team, big time players.
Yeah, they're an exciting team. They're definitely one to watch.
Next up, horse, we got Gregory against Downey. This is always a big-time show-up game for Gregory. If they show up, they have a real good chance to beat Downey. They showed up in this one. However, they fell to Downey 24-21 in a great game with some great performances.
Yeah, our guy, Cruz Marinus from Gregory, continues an excellent season at quarterback. He had 313 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and then 95 yards rushing and added another touchdown on the ground. So he really paced the offense. Travion McClendon caught 5 of those passes for 153 yards and both receiving touchdowns. So Travion McClendon, shout out to you, huge game. For Downey, we had quarterback Hudson Wyatt threw a touchdown to Gabe Hernandez. Michael Navarez had a rushing touchdown, and Hayden Grant had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, it's always interesting playing Downey. In fact, my first head coaching win in high school was against Downey back in the day, and it was always fun to go play them every single year. And both these teams are really good. Now, for Gregory, the quarterback position is another junior horse. Cruz Marinez is just so good. He's a great output. He can do it all. He can pass. He can move the pocket. He can run the read option. He's great at carrying the ball. This guy can do it all. And I can't wait till next year, to be honest with you. I look forward to seeing what he can do and how much he can develop in one season. And people have to worry about Gregory next year, I mean, in all facets of the game, because they're getting it done.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see if Cruz starts appearing on more people's radars during the summer camp circuit and those kind of things.
Yeah, and Downey's always hard to play, so Downey's going to be back at it again, and they'll be making plays. Big win for them, though, taking care of Gregory, because it's never easy to beat a big-time quarterback. Horst, next up is the Holy Bowl, and this game didn't disappoint. What a game between St. Mary's and Central Catholic.
Yeah, this is always one of our favorite games of the year to go to. Unfortunately, COVID is taking care of that. But we did get to watch the stream.
Yep.
And it was an exciting game. St. Mary's started off the game real sloppy, turned the ball over a few times through the air, which is very uncharacteristic of them. But they were able to bounce back in a big way.
Yeah, St. Mary's was able to win this game 42-34. Really what happened in the second half was St. Mary's was just almost unstoppable on offense. The Central Catholic just couldn't get the crucial stop that they needed. They were able to move the ball consistently on offense, but not stop St. Mary's consistently on defense, which was really the downfall for Roger Canepa's team. St. Mary's proving to be a formidable foe again. They are just a really good team, and they are led by a lot of good players, Horse, like Tyree Washington, who ran for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Tyree ran for well over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. He really took over this game at points. He was a big reason St. Mary's was able to come back from the turnovers. And then Jason Calvin had a huge game for them. He's only a sophomore, and he's 5'5", 130 pounds. But he had an 88-yard screen for a touchdown and a 30-yard touchdown run on a fly sweep. He's the kind of guy, they have so many weapons that I'm sure Central Catholic came in focused to stop. Jaden Marshall, Daniel Nasserly.
Even Nathan Arenado, the quarterback.
Yeah, and of course Tyree. And you know what? And boom, here's another guy they pull out of their hat. And that guy's got some speed. He was impressive. It's the first time I've noticed him this year. But oh my gosh, they have another guy.
He looked electric on film. And the way that people were blocking for him on his long run for touchdown, the way Jaden Marshall outran everyone to get up there and block, just shows, the competitiveness and the team spirit and the way that they're working together. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. Now, Central Catholic did give St. Mary's problem with their eye-back attack. Leading rusher Jack Gristle scored a touchdown to make the game 7-0 early, and he actually got injured on that play and didn't return. So I don't think that helped him very much. Julian Lopez had a touchdown run, and Dominic Perino hooked up for 2 passing touchdowns to Mr. Jackson. So they kept it close the whole game. Another fantastic iteration of this rivalry, and I expect it to be the same next year, no matter who's on each team.
Yeah, this game never gets old. These two teams go out there and battle it out, and it's a contrast of style between St. Mary's spread and Central Catholic's, loaded up box, double tight end sets. But it is so fun to watch because both are very successful. Both have really good coaching staffs and players that play at the highest level. So it's always fun to watch. Anyone that gets an opportunity to stream this game, go check it out. Watch it on demand. It's fantastic to watch. Just a well-played game. Even when there's turnovers, they're more caused by great defensive plays than it is by a lack of, offensive efficiency. So it's really fun to watch.
Definitely. This is about as high level high school football this area gets.
Sounds
we are going to be joined by Nico Antolin, someone that's coached with us a lot. He was at this game. Linden Lions traveled to Tokay to play the Tokay Tigers, and this was one heck of a game. 27-21 victory for Tokay. Nico, tell us about the game. What did you like about it? Let us in on the magic that was experienced there.
It was kind of a personal game for us because we coach guys on both teams, and they were the guys making big plays. Sherman for Linden, the Salazar brothers, Jose Bravo. They were just making big plays for Tokay. It was just a nice, close offensive battle. Defenses were playing tough, and yeah, it was really exciting.
Yeah, James Sherman. I mean, you coach Sherm. You were literally his position coach. Fantastic game. He was hard for Tokay to stop. He went crazy in that game. 23 carries, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had the big punt return called back that could have literally gave Linden the lead. What was Sherm doing out there, and how impressive was that performance?
The outside run was really killing Tokay. They had a hard time kind of setting the edge and filling the alley. So once they started running outside, give Sherman a little crease, and he's going to take it to the house,
Yeah, that's all he needs.
He had some big runs. Yeah, he had some big runs. He also had another touchdown that was called back, so he had 2 called back.
And he's literally, fingertips away from outrunning Flip and getting that touchdown, too, at the end.
Yeah, that was right after the punt return, so he had run the punt return back, and then the next play busted another big one, so that was nice.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So, it sounds like Linden really came in and their focus was to stop Filippini. So, it turned out that another one of our guys, Jose Bravo, had to throw him off. How did Jose play?
Yeah, he was running hard, man. His leg drive was really good, like getting through the middle and just getting those hard extra yards. He fought for the extra yards. Had a lot of carries. They did pretty much try and stop Filippini. He still had a good game, but you could tell that they kind of game planned for him. He still had a touchdown, but yeah, Jose really picked up the slack and gave Filippini a break, so it was nice to see.
It seemed like Jose's vision was real impressive, that he was able to kind of squeak through, get through the hole, and then make plays. 19 carries for 149 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is an impressive performance.
Yeah, he was breaking tackles and everything. It was nice. He ran really hard.
And then defensively for Tokay, who had big games?
Both of their safeties, strong safety and weak safety, which are Bravo and Atticus, they had a lot of tackles because Linden kept trying to run outside. The D-line did pretty good, like stopping the inside run. And Filippini had sort of a lot of tackles coming from his safety spot too.
All right, so that D-line includes Daru Valia, my boy Silver Ramirez.
Big Silver.
That's my guy right there, Big Silver. So it sounds like that was a pretty well-played defensive game. Did anyone else on Linden besides Sherman have any big plays?
Yeah, the D-line played pretty good, stuff in the inside run. And let me see. I didn't catch his name, but number 8, I did get his name. Lucas Davis. He had some nice plays on the back end, their DBs. I kind of like their DB play, I'm a DB guy. So other than Sherm, they were kind of trying to throw the ball a little bit, and they did pretty good on coverage.
And it sounded like the quarterback for Tokay, Didonado, had a pretty good game too.
Yeah, they had a couple long passes, a lot of running though, but yeah, he had a couple good passes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that didn't get to see the game won't realize how intense it was going over the final minutes of the game. You had Linden score, and then they cut it to 6 points, and then you have Tokay come out there, and Linden absolutely stuffed them on 3 straight plays. You have the punt that gets returned, then called back. Then Sherm has the long run all the way inside the 10, or almost to the 10, and it's like, is Linden about to win this game? And Tokay comes through with a big stop because somebody else that we're pretty familiar with has a big hit on James Sherman.
Yeah, our dude Anakin Salazar, sophomore too. He had a big hit. They just put him in a couple plays before that. Comes up with a big hit. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know who Anakin is, but Anakin is a straight hitter. He's a beast. He played for us last year at Brookside Christian on the varsity team, and he started both ways day one. He's just a beast of a player.
Yeah, like you said, it was intense, like that series of events, like the big punt return gets called back. The fans really started to get into it. Linden, they were upset that it got called back. But on the next play, the big run by Sherman, I was kind of getting looks because I was on the Tokay side cheering. It was a crazy game for me. I was cheering for both sides. Super fun, super intense. And the last few minutes they were fun to watch.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's literally what high school football is all about. And you're right, I was hanging on every moment, every Jose Bravo run, every James Sherman run, every Atticus catch and Anakin tackle. I was like all into it. I really enjoyed it.
I love being there. It was all the guys that we know and we've been talking about, the Salazar brothers, Jose, Sherman, both Shermans, Filippini. It was nice.
Next up, we have East Union against Oakdale in a battle of two great quarterbacks, Horst.
Yeah, and this is a game that, historically speaking, has not been close, but East Union has really closed the gap in recent years. It got out to a slow start. Oakdale was up like 28-7, and I think everyone just had flashbacks to years of past of them getting blown out. But East Union came back, made it a game. They did fall to Oakdale 27-35, but they definitely played very well. Quarterback Luke Weaver of East Union went 12 of 19 for 217 yards and 4 touchdowns. The big mistakes East Union made was they had a couple of inopportune fumbles that put Oakdale out to that early lead. So they came at them with a bit of a passing game. Oakdale ran the ball. They did what they do. Zeke Safar had 24 carries for 124 yards and a touchdown. Yahir Ayala had 11 carries for 109 and 2 touchdowns. and Kevin Camlin capped it off with 11 carries for 74 yards. And Jackson Holt did a very un-Oakdale thing and threw for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Jackson Holt is a big-time player, and he's making plays. It was really a battle of two great quarterbacks. Horst Luke Weaver throwing for 4 touchdowns is impressive. Jackson Holt throwing for 2 touchdowns. Both of them giving their teams the best opportunity to win. East Union, we're happy to be covering you in this game and in this matchup because this was a lot of fun. East Union's been playing good all year, Horst, and they deserve recognition.
Definitely.
I'm glad that they played Oakdale tough because East Union needs, to take this step, and now there's somebody everyone needs to worry about moving forward.
Yeah, they're not the same East Union. This is definitely a program on the rise.
Yeah, so pay attention to these names because you're going to hear a lot more about East Union in the future. The Dairy Bowl went down in Galt, Horst, and Liberty Ranch was able to defeat the Galt Warriors 30-16.
Yeah, in typical fashion of this year's Galt team, Galt gave them a game. It wasn't easy. They made them fight, but Liberty Ranch was just a little too explosive for them. The info I got on this game is Gabriel Semios had 3 rushing touchdowns and well over 100 yards, and Tony Rangel scored 1 touchdown for Liberty Ranch. A big shout out here to Tony Rangel. He is the one who messaged me and let me know who scored the touchdown, so I had some info on the game. Everyone, he's a follower. Go say what's up to him. Add him on Twitter. Good ball player. Been watching some of his clips. Solid running back.
Yeah, I think people need to keep an eye on him. Go check out his huddle. Share it. Let people know who he is. Let people know what Liberty Ranch is doing. This was a big game because both teams were coming in looking for that big win. And when it's a rivalry game, you really have to find the win. And Liberty Ranch got it done. And I know this is going to sit well with them. Yes, you wanted to win more football games this year, but beating Galt is a big part of it, and they got it done.
Yeah, definitely. This is a huge win for that program. They've proven that to themselves that they can still beat Galt, which is one of the biggest games on their schedule.
All right, today's guest, we have Christian Zamora, running back, does it all for Lodi. Welcome to the show, Christian.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So we want to talk to you about a lot of things, but how did it feel getting back on the field after dealing with, not being able to play, thinking there was going to be maybe no season? What did it feel like to get back on the field?
It felt pretty good because, it was a long way. There was times where, you doubt it so much because it was just like almost like a year and counting. And you just begin to doubt after a while. And like the optimism is just, the window was getting shut. But I'm glad to be out there. It's a great feeling. I'm great to be with the guys. I just can't complain.
Yeah. So what did Coach Duenas, Coach Bishop, and all those guys do to keep you guys motivated during the time when you weren't sure if you were going to play?
They just told us keep being optimistic, keep believing, and hoping it goes our way because they said hope is the only thing we could do, and keep working because if the opportunity comes and we're not ready, then that's not going to work out for us like we wanted to.
Yeah, and so far you guys are off to a fantastic start, 3-0. What does that mean for Lodi to already secure a winning season, getting those first 3 wins?
I feel it's pretty good because we want this program to go in a good direction. Coach Duenas wants it, and he's setting a good standard for the next years to, certainly have like a really good program and like build it while it goes on.
Yeah, you guys are definitely trending in the right direction these days. So over the first 3 games, including this last one, you guys have really been able just to run the ball down teams' throats at will with a mixture of you, Caden Merriman, Isaac Bishop, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple guys. Yeah, Adolfo Sanchez, and probably some other guys. What's been the key to you guys' run game?
I think it's been pretty good that we're just distributing the ball to everybody. I mean, everybody's getting a piece of it, and we're just keeping these teams guessing. And I think that's really the key to it, with Coach Bishop having a good blocking game plan and Coach Duenas getting us ready.
Christian, what did you do in the off season to make sure that you were ready to have the big season that you're having?
I really just try to stay focused, just try to just stay on my craft, really lift weights because I was just really hoping we had a season because training, and yeah, I just trained until hopefully we got a green light, and we did.
So going back a little bit to last night's game, when I talked to you earlier, you said that you felt like you guys really set the tone on your second drive, right? Offensively, what happened?
Yeah, they had good momentum. They had, I'm not gonna say momentum, but they had a good stop, and we just didn't feel like we really got out of that drive, the first drive, like we wanted to, and they had good field position with the return. So the second drive, I feel that's when we really just started building on. We could run it on them and stop them defensively.
Okay, so that's when the confidence kind of started picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, were you surprised that you guys were able to move the ball the way you were against Tracy? Was that a surprise to you guys or no surprise?
I don't think that was a surprise because that's what we try to do every week. And I knew this was gonna be a hard team. They're a physical team. It was a really physical game last week, but that was our game plan to just come in here, run it. And that's what we basically did.
Yeah, I can believe that. Having been around Coach Bishop and knowing Coach Duenas, that really been your guys' plan for the season, just to come out and establish that you guys are the most physical team on the field every week?
Yeah, we try to build on that. We try to run in just like people's face, and we just try to keep going because if you run into a person's face so much, they're not gonna want to keep getting in your way.
Yeah, run game never quits, that's for sure. Let us know about some players maybe that we don't know that are on Lodi that people need to keep an eye on.
I think you need to keep a line on eye on my line. Reggie Miles, Gabe, Senecal. I think they're all doing a great job. Isaac Bishop, he's doing a great job with his blocking, everything. He's just a big key for us, and I think we just have a bunch of good key players.
So Isaac Bishop's the guy I was going to ask you about. I know he missed most of last season injured, correct?
Yeah,
Um, so how big has it been to have him back on the team this year?
it's been huge because not only does he make my job easy, he makes the rest of the team's job easy because he executes on every play he can. And he's just like, whether it comes to blocking, whether it comes to running the ball, he just goes 100%. And yeah, I could believe in him with confidence, and he won't fail.
Yeah, next up you guys got Lincoln. What is it that you guys need to do to be successful consistently against Lincoln?
Well, first, we need to take it day by day. And yeah, we just need to really focus, have a good week of practice, and prepare. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know I believe the last time that Lodi beat Lincoln was Coach Duenas' senior year. He was definitely a big part of that on both sides of the ball as a lineman. Do we think a key to beating Lincoln is to establish up front early, being able to move the ball and being able to stop them?
Certainly, I think it's really going to come down to that because there's no question they're going to be a physical team, and we just got to go out there and really just give them all we got, and the scoreboard will take care of itself, whether because we gave it our all.
So you got two more games left in your senior season. What do you want to see accomplished as a team and yourself accomplished over these last two games?
I really want to go out on a good note. I really want this team like to go out because we're not going to be all together no more. I want it to go on a good note, end the season good and strong, and give it all we got, 100%. And yeah, just as a team, and we'll live with the results at the end of the season if we gave it all we got.
I know it's skipping ahead a little bit, but haven't had a chance to talk to you, and I don't know when we'll get another one. How big is this final crosstown Lodi Tokay game?
I think it's pretty big. I mean, that's always a rival game is always a good game, but I got to wait for that because we got a big week coming, and we got to focus on that and take it week by week.
I think that's a great answer. That's exactly what we were expecting you to say. That's the winning mentality that you have to have. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that Lodi-Tokay matchup. A lot of people on both sides that we know and like, and it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stay tuned in.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with Lincoln, how you guys measure up, because you guys played fantastic against Tracy, and I think you opened up a lot of people's eyes about what you guys are capable of, and I want to see how that translates against Lincoln, because I think a lot of people think Lincoln's the bully, and I want to see if you guys can bully them, because they have a lot of good guys up front, and you were saying you guys have a lot of good things, good guys up front. Do you think your defense will be able to stop Kenyon Nelson and Jonah Coleman?
I think certainly those guys have a lot of talent and they're really hard workers. I've seen it up close, but we gotta look to slow them down, and we just gotta go with our game plan, and we'll just see what happens.
I'm excited about that game. I can't wait to watch it. I think it's going to be an exciting one to watch.
100%. Christian, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. This was a great talk. Got to know more about you and the team, and I look forward to seeing you finish out your senior year. We're always very proud of you. You're one of the special people that we all care about. So we're going to be rooting for you. I hope you get it done and get everything out of this, because this is the last 2 games that you get to spend, like you said, with your teammates, and these are special moments. Remember it, take it all in, and just hold on to it, because it's some of the best times of your life.
Hey, I appreciate that. It's all love, and yeah, stay tuned in, and I'll keep you guys updated.
All right, sounds good. So Lodi met Tracy in what was to be a huge game. Tracy had played St. Mary's and Lincoln. They were looking to bounce back, and Lodi was looking to improve to 3-0, and Lodi did just that with a big victory over Tracy, 48-21. Nico, you watched that game this morning. What was your thoughts on this game? How did Lodi figure it out and beat Tracy?
Yeah, it was kind of a battle at the beginning, but I feel like just turnovers and kind of the negative plays kind of buried Tracy into a hole. But Lodi's run game was impressive. They got some turnovers, were able to hit some runs, go into the end zone, and get some big touchdowns that put them up.
Yeah, I know. We just talked to our guy Christian Zamora, had a big game. Right, Caden Merriman had a nice game, and Isaac Bishop, who we've been following. Those guys, all 3 ran the ball really well.
Yeah, Adolfo Sanchez had some runs too. But
okay.
The guys that you had mentioned, Merriman, I mean, he's got good speed, like you give him a little crease and he's got nice speed.
Yeah, I've noticed Merriman will bounce outside and cause some issues when he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, he's a sophomore to look out for.
Yeah, for sure. Zamora was running hard. The quarterback had some nice runs. And Bishop, I think you said, he had some good runs for touchdowns.
He's 25.
Yeah, and Nico, when we're talking about Christian Zamora, it's another guy that we're very familiar with, somebody that you're very familiar with because you've worked with them before. I mean, how did he look, in the game, and where do you see him finishing out this year, especially with the tough matchup against Lincoln and then the crosstown rivalry against Tokay?
He definitely runs hard, like he gets tough yards up the middle, and he ended up breaking a lot of tackles and gaining extra yards, which got him some first downs, picked up big first downs, and he really impressed me.
Yeah, I think that's what's been the most impressive about his run over the last 2 years, is that he's getting the tough yards. It's something he's worked on over the years and developed, and you can see the improvement in the hard work.
Yeah, he has good leg drive. You can tell that he's been working out, and putting muscle on, and he gets those tough yards.
Christian said and from what I saw, their offensive line really played a nice game yesterday, opening up holes.
Yeah, they had a lot of room to run, kind of on the edge. Bishop had some nice runs along the edge. Their option game was working good. So, yeah, their line did pretty good.
I mean, how do you see the matchup next week? We've got Lodi's offensive line against Roman Amaparosa from Lincoln, somebody that we're familiar with, another big guy. I mean, Roman's one of the best defensive linemen, if not the best defensive lineman in this area. Are they going to be able to handle him and be able to get their run game going?
Yeah, he's a big deal, They're going to have to put a lot of focus on him. But other than him, they have some other big linemen. So it's going to be a tough matchup. We'll see how Lincoln moves him around. I don't know if they move him around a little bit, but Sean Carpenter maybe is how they can maybe get it done. He's a good blocker.
Yeah, that'll be a fun matchup. Sean Carpenter versus Roman Amorfosa. That's a one heck of a battle.
Yeah, I'm interested to see both him and Reggie Miles take on Roman. Those should both be good matchups.
One thing guaranteed, Roman's going to see double teams all day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup for Lodi's line.
Agreed 100%. I think this was a precursor to a fantastic rivalry game. Lodi continues 3-0. Now, what will they do in the future? Next week's going to be a big game against Lincoln. We're going to be excited for that. And Tracy will be looking to rebound and get their season back on track. Edison welcomed Capital Christian from Sacramento in what is a big game, and Edison did not disappoint. They got it done, Horse, 67-33 over a solid Capital Christian team.
Yeah, Capital Christian is a Division IV powerhouse in Sacramento area. They hadn't been able to play yet this year, so they jumped at the bit at a chance to play Edison, who they have considered a Division I powerhouse. Their words, not mine. So congratulations for that to Edison. You've really turned your program around, and that's what people think of you now. This one was a track meet in the game that defense forgot. Running back from Edison, we've been telling you, Jalen Blackshear, 300 total yards. Unbelievable game. He was helped out by his running mate, LeJamian Sampson, and a host of others. Defensively, they struggled a little bit, but on offense, they did not struggle at all. Edison with a great performance, putting up 67 points. We told you at the start of the year, when you mix Booker, Guyton, and talent, we will give you points. We do not know how the defense will go, but we will give you points.
Yeah, it's always going to be a talent show out there. Horse, and it's time for D1 schools to get all their eyes on Jalen Blackshear, because Jalen Blackshear is a freakish talent with a lot of ability, and he's producing. We said it from the start. Moving to Edison was going to be a great move for him, and it has worked out fantastic. Now it's time to get Jalen all the recognition he deserves. I'm sure he's got some already, but he needs to get all of it. He deserves it. He deserves to be right up there with the other guys that are really great in this area.
The best comment I heard about Jalen Blackshear came on Instagram last night, and someone commented on a picture of him that he runs with the grace of a ballerina, and then he runs like he can break the sidewalk with power. So that was a pretty amazing way to describe it, and I enjoyed it. Yeah. So yeah, Edison is a team to look out for. And once again, Junior.
Yeah, Jalen Blackshear is going to be back doing it big again next year. What great running backs we have to look forward to again next year. Jalen Blackshear, Jonah Coleman. You know, all these guys are going to be tearing it up. They're only juniors. Next year is going to be a show-stopping season.
Yeah, it's going to get real interesting. And don't forget our guy, Raleigh Brown, even though he's down there at modern day, still also only a junior.
Yeah, and you know what? Zach Tamu still wrecking people on the front line,
my
Horst.
God. Him and Jack Grinnell, two beasts up front for Edison.
Big time. Keep watching those guys. It's Bear Creek versus the West Wolfpack, Horst, and Bear Creek was able to get the win 38-0.
Yeah, West, once again, rebuilding, very young team. They continue to fight. They play hard every week. Bear Creek was able to come out. They showed out a little bit. Their quarterback, sophomore, Mario Lopez, had 3 passing touchdowns. 2 were to Sean Richardson, and 1 was to my main man, Charles Rogers, who also tacked on a rushing touchdown. Scott Adams, another name we're familiar with around here, added 91 rushing yards and a touchdown to complete the scoring for Bear Creek. West Jamal Martin had another nice game. He's a pretty good back that people aren't talking about because his team's struggling a little bit. He actually broke a 44-yard run and got tackled inside the 5. Just barely missed scoring. But those guys are going to keep working hard. Don't be shocked if they come out and score against Tracy this week.
Yeah, and
in 2 weeks.
And Bear Creek gets their big second win, Horst. They had the win over Franklin, now this one. So Bear Creek has got their program going in the direction I think they wanted this season to be as a springboard towards the future. So I think they're doing exactly what they needed to do, showcasing some of that talent. Like you said, Charles Rogers is a dynamic player that is only a sophomore that they can use in the future. Like you said, Scott Adams, another great player. Sophomore. So they've got a lot of ability and a lot of young players. And West has a lot of young players. Like you've pointed out in the past, 16 sophomores playing varsity football. That is how you get baptism by fire. They will be prepared next year when they're juniors, and this team will be a lot better. They're out there playing, they're having a good time, and they're doing the best they can.
And also Bear Creek quarterback Mario Lopez, another sophomore.
Yeah.
So Bear Creek's looking like they've got some talent coming through the pipes there.
Yeah, young players, young teams, great time that they got to get out there and play because you always wonder in these certain times if they're going to get a matchup, but they got a good matchup, and I hope they had a good time, and the players got to showcase their talents. It's time to talk about the Gold Nugget rivalry, Horst, because we had Union Mine versus El Dorado, and this ended up being a heck of a game. El Dorado coming back from down 16-7 to defeat Union Mine 20-16.
Yes, Union Mine was up 10-0 at half and 16-7 in the fourth. And this Gold Nugget rivalry game that I was never familiar with, but I love now. What a name. And I've been told by my cohort over here that Union Mine and El Dorado both play some very good and intense football out there. I will have to go out and catch a game next year. I'm excited about those programs. So basically what happened, it was 10-0 Union Mine at half. El Dorado scored to make it 10-7 on a 2-yard touchdown run by Gio Pifferini that was actually led on a nice drive by completions by El Dorado quarterback Kalen Bonnickson. And apparently there's been several brothers from that family, so shout out to the Bonnickson family. And then they took the lead on a 75-yard TD pass from Max Swanson to the quarterback Caleb Bonnickson on a trick play, and Gio Pifferini scored it on a 6-yard run, 3:50 to go. Union Mine was unable to finish the drive and come back. That sounds like one heck of a ball game.
Yeah, these games are always great. Union Mine's been playing tough games all season, and this matchup right here is going to be, every year, just something to watch. And El Dorado got it done this time. Union Mine will not rest until they get back to this rivalry game and get the win. Taylor Duncan will bring that team back, Horst, and they will be back and looking to, get in the winning track because they're not going to let this loss be the defining factor in the future seasons. They have to get it going.
Yeah, and Coach Duncan, you have my new favorite Twitter account because you're the head coach / O-line boss.
Yes.
And I like that.
Yeah, we like O-line bosses. As you can see, we were also O-line coaches, and we love that part of football. You got to love the guys up front. And he has a pretty good offensive line, and they were paving the way, and they just couldn't get it done this time, but they're a heck of a team, and I'm sure we will see a lot of great things from them down the road. It's time for Stag versus Franklin Yellow Jackets, Horst, and Stag was looking to bounce back after a kind of a struggle loss to Edison, and they're looking to get back on the winning track, and they sure did. 34-0 over Franklin.
Yeah, they definitely went back on the winning track. They played a much better game this week. They had kind of the usual suspects putting up the big game. Gabe Benton had a huge rushing game, a couple touchdowns. Willie Turner scored a receiving touchdown. Here's a name we hadn't called before. Camario Thomas Gray had a receiving touchdown. Those were both from quarterback Eric Hankins. And also, defensively, another name we've been bringing up, Richard Lockhart, had a big game. So, Stag kind of usual suspects. But, man, a couple of these guys can ball. Gabe Benton, the video I've seen, that guy can ball. Willie Turner, I already know, is a heck of an athlete. Camario Thomas, I'm going to have to check out video on him. Franklin came in, put up a fight. They're fighting hard every game, but this is another young rebuilding program. I think they're really going to use this and springboard into next year.
Yeah, I think that's what you're looking at with Franklin. They're kind of in the same position as West, where they're looking to just really battle and get some experience and use this as an opportunity to build for next year. And they're doing good. And the fact is that the team, almost got it done against Bear Creek in week 1. So they're out there playing competitive football. Stag, on the other hand, has tremendous athletes, Horse, and when they get the ball to them in space, they make plays happen. Willie Turner is fantastic. I'm going to harp on him every week until everyone takes notice about how good he is, because they really need to watch and see how he did. And he did good against Edison last week. So once again, Stag's another great performance. Like you said, Gabe Benton, another great player. Everyone keep an eye on these guys at Stag, because they deserve to get some eyes on them.
Yeah, and Stag always seems to send a guy or two out to big-time college football.
Yep, like Cottrell Haywood.
Cottrell Haywood, that's our guy. Balling at University of Idaho right now. If you don't know who he is, research him, put some respect on his name. Big-time player, came from Stag. There's been several others over the years. They always seem to have put a guy or two out.
Horst, another rivalry game as McNair and Chavez played each other, and McNair couldn't get it done this time as Chavez beat them 21-12 in what seems to be a good game.
Yeah, McNair took a 12-0 lead into halftime. Unfortunately, it was quickly erased in the third quarter when Chavez scored 14 points, took a 14-12 lead, and then they tacked on 7 in the fourth to win the game 21-12. This one we do not have info on. We tried the record, we tried Max Preps. There was no stream. But we know there's a lot of good players on both these teams. Chavez has guys like Reuben Hooks and Brandon Wood. McNair has guys like Josiah Scott, Darius Bunn, Jalen Canton,
Aaron
Ho. So,
Yep.
I mean, we know there's big-time players in this game. We'd love to see some highlights and know what happened. But shout out to Chavez on a hard-fought victory in the rivalry game.
Yeah, and I guess, McNair kind of got nicked up a little bit during this game, suffered a couple of, injuries, and, that'll do it real quick in a season like this where it's a shortened season. Your rosters aren't very deep. So, but both of these teams are good, and they're going to continue to battle. Glad they had a good time playing. Both will, I'm sure be out there causing problems for the next team that they play, and it's good to see these guys out there playing. Horse, it was another great week of action. And it was really fun to go through these games and talk about all the great performances, all the great players that are tearing it up this year.
Yeah, we're starting to get to know the players a little better. We're getting to watch a little bit more football, starting to see more guys highlights, more guys make plays. There's a lot of good ball players in this area. Once again, if we are missing one that tell us who it is. Tell us what school they go to. Hit us up. Don't be scared. We want to feature your guy. We're not American Idol where we're looking to, cut people. We want to feature your guy. So hit us up.
Yeah, send us your huddle film if you want to be featured. We'll make sure we put it out there and get it out there so eyes can get on it. We'll put it on the show. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this so that way other people get to see it too. Because when you do that, then more and more people get to see it. More and more eyes get on these kids where they deserve it. And that's really what we're looking for.
Yes.
So, boom, Horse. Another Cutback High School Football episode is complete.
Wow.
We'll see you guys on the next one.